everyone, it's Rachel here. I have another review for you guys today. This time we're going to be talking about Kringle Candle's new fragrance, Easter Petals. As you may have guessed, this is also part of Kringle's Easter lineup this year, which is going to be launching next week on Thursday, March 20th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And this is the second fragrance that I am reviewing in this collection. For time's sake today, I'm not going to go through all of the other fragrances that are going to be in that launch. I did do a preview video last week where we talk a little bit about each of those. So feel free to go back and watch that if you haven't already. But this is going to be kind of a dedicated, focused review on Easter Petals itself, talking about the fragrance and the performance that I've been getting from this candle. Now, for those who don't know, I am a Kringle Candle ambassador, and Kringle was kind enough to gift me the new fragrances this year in this Easter launch. So thank you again to Kringle for sending these over. I've been doing my best to burn them as much as possible to get reviews up for you guys before the launch next week. And my last review featured a 3-wick style candle. Now this is the other format that we're going to be seeing in the tall standard Kringle jar, except it is painted. You can see this one is yellow. And then it has sort of a silver kind of speckled design, kind of like a speckled egg pattern that is throughout the jar. Very, very beautiful. The labels, they just sort of pop on this background here. And I just, you know, packaging, they are 100% on point. So really, really nice. There's also a pink jar and a orange jar. They had blue last year. I guess they must have nixed it this year because the floral candle last year was in blue. Now we have 2 different yellows. The lemon sugar marshmallow is also yellow. So just very nice Eastery pastel colors. And these jars really make nice vases, or any other sort of centerpiece or decorative jar. You could repurpose these very, very easily. They just are really gorgeous jars. The labels should peel off pretty easily, and you're left with just a really nice sort of glass vessel that you could easily bring a hostess gift of fresh cut flowers to somebody over the holiday if you burn through it fast enough. Just really nice, easy to repurpose, so you get a little bit more bang for your buck that way. These jars will be priced at $34, and if you are shopping the launch, you can get 15% off as a discount if you use my code Simply Scented. And just be aware that is a commissioned code, so I do appreciate anyone who has ever or plans to use it in the future. It really makes a difference, and your support means a lot to me. I know there's lots of wonderful ambassadors out there, so I always appreciate when you guys keep me in mind. But getting back to today's review, we're going to be talking about Easter Petals. This is not as floral of a fragrance as you might imagine based on the name. This one really surprised me. I wasn't super looking forward to burning this one just based on the notes, but this has been a very pleasant experience, and it was kind of eye-opening because now I'm starting to I think my nose is changing a little bit, guys. I used to be primarily into gourmand fragrances with a little bit of fresh mixed in here and there, lots of tree scents at Christmas time and whatnot. But this experience here with these Easter fragrances, I'm really starting to kind of warm up to some of these more floral notes. So getting into the actual notes listed on this candle, we have top notes of sparkling lemon, petitgrain twigs, mid notes of Italian bergamot and neroli blossom, base notes of patchouli, musks, and amber. All right, so this is a pretty interesting fragrance to me, and I will do my best to describe it, just with the disclaimer that this is not really in my wheelhouse, but we'll kind of talk through the notes here a little bit, and we'll talk through kind of an image of what this sort of fragrance is bringing to my mind in hopes that that helps you guys out a little bit. So this fragrance, the thing here is that it sort of evolved a bit, I feel like, through the course of this burn. What I was getting initially in those first 2 burns has changed a little bit. And some of the other notes have kind of moved to the forefront that I wasn't really expecting. So at the start here, getting some of that sparkling lemon. kind of a zesty lemon. This is not a juicy sort of citrus fragrance. If you want something that's full bore juicy lemon, go with the lemon sugar marshmallow. That has a lot more lemon in it, or sweet as can be, which is the same fragrance. Those are your lemon scents. But the sparkling lemon here, it's more of a zest, kind of plays intertwined with that bergamot, which also has a citrusy zest to it. And really what I feel like it does for this fragrance, it adds a little bit of a pop, a little bit of a uplifting sort of brightness to it, to help balance out some of these more earthy, woodsy tones. And initially, I was getting a bit more of the neroli blossom, which that fragrance note, we see it a lot in the beachy sort of fragrances. Sometimes it can kind of take on a suntan lotion tone. I don't get suntan lotion here, but I do get sunshine. There is a certain warmth to this, a certain sunshiny feel to this fragrance, and complemented well with that sort of zest from that lemon. And it's very sort of bright fragrances. This is like sunny day, sun shining in the spring. The thing that sort of changed as I got into the burn here is some of those more earthy, woodsy tones kind of came a little bit more prominent. The petitgrain twigs, that fragrance note, I'm getting a little bit of wood, a little bit of a greenness to it as well, a little bit earthy. I feel like that one is starting to kind of take center stage as I've gotten into the kind of midway section of the burn. Followed by the base notes here, we have a little bit of that patchouli, a little bit of the musk, a little bit of the amber. The amber here adding a little bit more to that sunshiny warmth, the patchouli adding a little bit more of an earthy tone, and that musk giving it that little bit of kind of almost powdery undertone. It's not a super like heady, floral, powdery fragrance, but there is that sort of undertone of that powder in there. I personally am not finding it to be headache inducing, but some of you who are maybe a little bit more sensitive might, but really I feel like it's airy enough, it's brightened up enough that it doesn't become that heavy sort of headachy kind of scent. So, you know, all of that kind of is jumbled in my mind. When I'm somebody who, when I read these notes on paper, I cannot assemble for the life of me what this fragrance might smell like without smelling it myself. So if you are somebody who does well with imagery, let me sort of kind of walk you through the scenario that this fragrance paints for me, and maybe this will help you. For me, if you think about taking fresh laundry. Now, there's no cotton note here, there's no specific laundry note, but there's something about the way that the floral piece and the earthy piece are coming together that kind of resemble a little bit of a linen to my nose. So if you take that sort of fresh linen, fresh laundry, you've washed it with a fabric, either a fabric softener or detergent that has a little bit of a slight floral tone to it. We take that freshly washed clothes and we put it out on the clothesline, going old school here. The sun is shining. We have a breeze. It's your early spring day. There's a little bit of that woods tone still in the air because the trees haven't quite gotten all their leaves yet. You're still getting a lot of those twigs out there, those branches. So we've got our sunshine. We've got our sort of fresh, clean sort of scent from that laundry. And now we've got the breeze with that little bit of an earthiness kind of blowing through there. You know, when you take those clothes in off that line and they're warm from the sun and they have that sort of fresh smell to it that you really can only get from having those clothes outside on the line. And that's really what this smells like to me. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm way off base, but that is the sort of essence of what I'm smelling here. I keep going back to it. And it's really surprising me. It's really nice. I really did not expect to enjoy this one, you guys. It's not, it's not something I ever would have bought on my own. So thank you to Kringle for, letting me test this one out. And I feel like my nose is kind of changing a little bit here. So maybe in the future I will be enjoying some more of these. The performance here, that's the last piece I really want to talk about with you guys. Overall, I feel like this is probably your fragrance in sort of a medium range. Now, me being somebody who doesn't typically burn a lot of this sort of scent profile, I feel like I personally pick it up a little bit more. But if this is more into your usual burning category, you might find you pick it up a little bit less. I would say it's got an airiness to it. It carries nicely on a breeze if you were to have like the window cracked open to let the air in the spring. I had it going one day with that sort of little bit of a breeze kind of coming through part of the house, and it carried very well. And it just kind of has a nice sort of freshness to it. It's a little bit clean, I would say, a little bit clean, but not soapy. It's just, really fresh, really nice, and I've enjoyed it very much. The one piece I do want to warn you guys about, even though I don't feel like it's burning super hot, I have other ones that have burned much hotter. This one kind of being in that sort of general average range for like temperature of your burns, as long as you're trimming your wicks. But I do feel like it has gotten a little bit sootier than some of my others. Not excessively. If you happen to catch it in my little opening film here with showing you a little bit of the candle burning, you might have noticed up on the rim of the glass there was a little bit of a soot accumulation. But really mild, and I do feel like I probably contributed to that a little bit with a little bit longer burn one day. So the way to combat that is to make sure you're keeping an eye on your burns. If you're doing a slightly longer burn, make sure you're keeping an eye on those wicks. If you need to, I've talked about this many times on my channel, but extinguishing the wicks midway, dip them down into the wax, give them a trim, and then light them back up. Don't be afraid to do that, especially if you want to go a little bit longer on your burn. That can really help keep that soot accumulation down, because once you start getting a lot of carbon ball formation at the end of your wicks is when you usually see a lot of that sort of sooty accumulation happening. I mean, you can also, if you feel like it, just keep your burn short if that works for you. That's another way you can kind of combat getting that buildup of soot on your glass. But again, not excessive, but worth mentioning, and just something for you guys to keep an eye on. So I would say if you're looking for something a little bit different, that's not your typical floral, and still has that keeping of the spring, and perfect for this time of year, I would say give this one a shot. I'm enjoying it myself. I'm actually debating if maybe I would pick up another jar in the future. That says a lot for me. So thank you guys again for watching. I hope this helps a little bit. I hope I haven't confused you too much. Let me know if you do plan on picking up this one. Let me know how you end up liking it. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. And as for what's coming up next, I have, I believe, bunnies and flowers, and then maybe carrot cake will be after that. And feel free, if you want to get alerts for those videos, please subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And hopefully I will be back maybe over the weekend if I can squeeze another review in. Otherwise, early next week, we'll be back here again chatting about our Easter candles. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, wonderful day, and take care.